Alright, looks like we're live. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 approximately in the morning. I'm sure you guys can tell by my lovely voice that I am not quite ready for my day yet. But here we are. We gotta go. We gotta do the thing. Oh, okay. I just sent out my notification to Discord and Twitter. So yeah, good morning, everyone. I had some really interesting discussions on LinkedIn overnight. Actually, over the last couple days, I've had some rather interesting discussions with other people talking about um, artists and um, really Zeke. Sorry, my cat Zeke decided he wanted to jump on me, so for whatever reason. I guess he's not happy about being up this early either. I can't say that I blame him. Let me adjust my music here really quick, guys. Okay, hang on. Something weird happened. Okay, there we go. Sorry, the music suddenly stopped. Sorry, guys. I figured it out. Anyway, so I had some rather interesting discussions on LinkedIn. Let me get my... There we go. Now I can see my chat. I was like, where did the chat go? We got it. Sorry, guys. It is 4:30 in the morning. My brain isn't fully here. But anyway, on LinkedIn, I had some other interesting discussions with someone regarding what people tend to consider as far as like what makes it possible for artists to do things. How people are still, for some whatever godforsaken reason, expected to work for free during these times. And then the topic kind of diverged into what do we do as artists when things get really hard. A lot of people are stuck at home. They're not able to go out to go do things they would normally do. How is this affecting us in our artistic drive? Maybe our internal struggles as well. So it was definitely an interesting conversation. I'm trying to find where this layer is here. I think it's right here. So it was a rather interesting discussion. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that today. So now before I get started, this isn't going to be like a, oh gee, poor me, my life sucks, wham. That's not what today's topic is going to be about. I'm going to be giving you guys just ideas on what people can do based on my own experiences. Because as a YouTuber, that's really all I can do is I can, hey, Tora, what's up? Hey, 4:30 in the morning stream, but it's like daytime over there for you, right? like morning or something, like almost middle of the day or something over there for you. What's up? You can make a stream, isn't it amazing? I might start making this a regular thing where I just like change the hours that I actually stream every once in a while. So, because this works better for me, honestly. Like, yeah. See, usually I just stream after I get home, but today I had work, and then I had to go to the mechanic to get my stuff done on my Jeep, and then I had to come home, and like 5 minutes after I came home, my Japanese class started, and so I had that today, which was interesting. And then I was like, man, I'm so tired because I got like 3 hours of sleep. And so I went to sleep. And then I got up like 30 minutes late. And then I'm like scrambling to get my butt together. It's like, come on, Kat, we got a live stream. God, I'm late. And so now I'm like 30 minutes late. I feel really bad. Like, and my breakfast was like 2 cheese sticks. That was my breakfast. Today it's like, oh my god, it's a day. And then I have to go to work today, and it's just gonna be super chaotic. But I get out of work early today, which is nice. I get out at 3 today, so I'm gonna come home, take a nap, take like a nap when I get home and just like wake up later and we'll stream at my regular time tonight. Actually, I gotta do. Oh wait, I didn't get any homework today. I didn't get any homework last night. I was gonna say, oh, I gotta do my homework, and I'm like, oh yeah, he didn't give us homework for the first night. My teacher was very generous. He didn't give us homework right away. Well, he said the only homework, for those of us who already know hiragana and katakana, is to just go ahead and review it. Like, do your practice sheets and your drills, and then to review the particles he gave us. Which I guess are, like, parts of grammar and speech and whatever. So we have to do that. So that's what I want to do tonight, or today on my lunch break, is I'm going to review the particles. And then we have class again tomorrow. So I like it. I'm already really glad that I signed up for the course, even though it was like $375. $375 for like 10 classes. Okay, it's 5 weeks. Hey, Zeke, butt munch, come here. Come here. Butt munch. He's begging for attention. And he's being mean because I'm not in bed right now. Okay, sorry. My brain's still learning to work. Forgive me while my brain is getting its act together. Okay, let me... Where is this layer? Click on it and find it. Okay, it's not in its folder. Oh, what panel would that be? That'll be this bottom panel. Not this one. Okay. Zeke, why are you being so mean to me huh? Anyway, so back on topic. I'm sorry, guys. I got distracted. 4:30 me is easily distracted, apparently. To be fair, I woke up like almost exactly 30 minutes. Like, okay, I didn't wake up 30 minutes ago. I woke up like an hour ago, but it took me like an hour to wake up. Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about, like I said earlier, how do we as artists get through these tough times where we have times where we don't feel like working, or our muse per se isn't necessarily with us anymore, or they're off in La La Land doing whatever the heck they want to do, and we're just sitting here like, wait, I don't feel like drawing anymore because I'm so stressed. What do we do? How do we manage this? The answer is, I don't know. That's the short answer. The long answer is, it depends on you, and it depends on what you personally are capable of, and what your goals are, what your dreams are. One of the things that I've been doing lately that's been really, really helping me, like, for example, when I have to get up in the morning, and this is why it took me a little while, that's why I was a little late, part of my morning routine is listening to motivational videos. I know you're gonna say, wait, what the heck? Why are we talking about this? Because one of the things that I've learned through, my own personal struggles, as far as, what can help keep me going, is you have to find that thing, as far as, why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want to be an artist? Why are you even doing this? That's what you gotta ask. And I know this is like, ooh, we're going to get philosophical here. Like, no one wants to hear that, but, like, y'all need to hear this. So, trying to think of how it was put to me. In my personal experience, we are not just people who are, like, or, how do I want to phrase this? Everyone has something that makes them come alive. Everyone has this. I don't care if you're like some child in some rural farmland, out in the middle of nowhere, or if you're this big, crazy, like, CEO executive of like a multi-million-dollar company. We all have something that makes us do what we do. We all have our own motivations. We all have our own goals, our own dreams. And unfortunately, something that I think helps a lot of people, that a lot of people really struggle with, is finding out what that is. Now, how do you find what that is? And the answer is it depends. It really does depend on what your dream is, and unfortunately, a lot of us don't know what that is. So the best way I have found to that has helped me figure out, when I've had these epiphanies, like, oh man, this is it. Like, I know what I want to do, man. Has been literally just doing things. A lot of us get paralyzed by fear. We get paralyzed thinking, oh no, we're gonna fail. What if it doesn't work out? When? Like, we just get paralyzed by that stuff. You can't let that happen to you. And I know it's way easier said than done. But here's the thing. If you never try anything, you're never gonna get anywhere. Okay? And I know, we all hear that. You never know if you don't try. And there's complete truth to that. It's really that simple, guys. It's really that simple. And if something calls to you, if you're like, hey, I want to try that. Dude, just do it. Literally just do it. Just Leroy it, run in, and just do it. If you guys don't know what I mean by Leroy, back in the day, it's basically a meme. The idea is that, team battling, I want to say it was World of Warcraft. These guys were setting up for like a raid or whatever, and they had they were like setting up a plan, and this guy just yells, Leroy chicken. He just like ran in and just like, so the idea when I say Leroy it, because I will probably use that phrase in the future, is it means just go. You don't know if it's gonna work out. Just do it. Just go. Don't ask. Just do. There is no try, only do or do not. Just go. It'll, que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Just go, And that's super scary, guys. Like, that's a scary thing to do when you don't know if it's gonna succeed. You don't know if it's gonna bite you in the butt. You don't know. And you can't let unknown determine what you do with your life. And it's like, to a point, you have like there's a, part of it to a point that you have to consider. Like, for example, when I did my internship with Tokyo Pop, it was an unpaid internship, and so that was something I had to stop and consider. Am I going to be able to pay for food? Am I going to be able to have housing? So that stuff, I was forced to take into consideration. But that's unique to that particular situation. If you're saying, like, for example, with me and my Japanese class, I had the money for the course, and I'm sitting here trying to make this decision. Do I want to do it? Do I want to take this course that's going to cost me a crap load of money? And, is it going to be beneficial to me? And I sat there for about 20 minutes trying to decide. And I got a phone call from the company, and they said, well, you need to make a decision because there's not many seats open. And I don't know if they were just saying that or if they actually genuinely did not have many open seats. And so I said, you know what? Let's do it. So I just said yes. I had the money. I don't know if the cost is going to be worth my time or not. It's a beginner course. Based on the first day that I had, the first hour and a half, hell yeah, this class is going to be worth it. I've already learned things that I didn't know before. And I'm slightly more advanced than a normal beginner. So far, this course has been worth my time. I didn't know that at the time that I signed up for this course 3 weeks ago. I didn't know that. I didn't know if it was going to be worth my time. But I took a chance when I had the money. I knew that if I spent the $375 on this course, it would not impact me. So when it comes to financially, you need to make sure you're making sound decisions always. That should always be the first thing on your mind. But if you're in a sound position to say yes, and the only thing preventing you from saying no is it going to be worth it? If that is the only question, I believe the answer is yes. Because here's the thing. The biggest thing is people worry about is I'm wasting my time. I hear this with talking about college all the time. Is this going to be worth my time? Is this going to be worth my time? Is it going to be worth my time? And the answer is, I don't freaking know. I don't. Because part of it is, what are you going to put into it? the biggest argument I hear about art school, being against art school, is it's not worth my time. Or teachers, they suck. Well, guess what? Part of that is your fault. Because whenever you're whenever you're doing school, whenever you're doing, teaching or whatever, part of that is on you. Okay, you can't just say, oh, well, the teacher sucked. You have to also work to get out of it what will be beneficial to you. It's not just the teacher's responsibility to just stuff your brain full of knowledge. So I hate hearing the argument that art school is not worth it because people didn't learn anything. And I'm like, if you pay, in my case, $50,000 a year to go to school and you don't learn anything, that's your own damn fault. Sorry, but that's your own fault. Because you didn't apply yourself. You didn't reach for more. You didn't push the boundaries. You accepted what you were given, and that was it. You were done. You didn't go beyond that. So that's your own fault. You could have had, like, especially if you went to Ringling like I did, you could have had all of these resources available to you. Laser etching machines and welcome tablets and the library and internships and interviews with big companies like DreamWorks, Disney, Pixar, studio shows, galleries, contests. Like, if you didn't apply yourself to those situations, you missed out. And you're like, oh, well, I was too busy. Oh, well, I wasn't good enough. Oh, well, well water. Okay, that's where water comes from. So when I hear well, it's like, well, you didn't apply yourself. Now, there are situations where it may be hard to apply yourself, especially if financially you're just not capable of doing some of those things. There were a lot of things that I didn't do in art school purely because I just didn't have the extra cash for it. Like special trips or, like just special workshops, especially like during spring break, my college offered a lot of like extra workshops. I couldn't afford those extra workshops, and so I never really participated in them. I didn't have the extra like $500 to $600 for a week's worth of courses. So that is most definitely part of the situation that we have to take into consideration, that maybe you just don't have the income for it, and that's totally okay. That's not a bad thing. That doesn't mean you're worthless or that you're gonna fail just because you don't have similar privileges as somebody else. So please don't think that I'm trying to say, oh well, you have to go bankrupt yourself just to go do things. No, please don't bankrupt yourself. That's not healthy, yo. But in general, you need to be considering those things as well. Like, what opportunities am I missing out on simply because I don't want to do it, or I'm too tired to do it, or I'm too lazy to do it? And all of these things are all subjective to you as an individual. So, and when I say that, there's, everyone has different limits, everyone has different capabilities. Not everyone can push themselves as hard, like, to the point that I push myself. And I'm not saying, oh, I push myself way harder than everyone else. I'm just saying the level that I work at, someone may be able to go far past me. Some people might be able to. Some people may not. Some people, may look at me and go, dude, that's really unhealthy. You should stop working so hard. But I've got people that do that to me regularly. I'm like, sorry. So if you're in a situation, as far as, a tough time where you're stuck, you're not moving very far, look at what your capabilities are. Can I work harder? Can I work longer? Could I really be doing more? How much time am I spending goofing off? How much time am I spending on social media? How much time am I spending, doing things with my friends or playing video games, and I'm not actually spending that time investing in myself, And then this brings up another issue. Work-life balance. Work-life balance is really hard for a lot of artists. Because when we're not working, we're not producing, and for a lot of us, when we're not working, we're not producing, we're not making any income. A lot of artists don't work on the typical hourly wage like someone else would. We work we get paid when we get things done, like with commissions, or if you're doing like freelancing projects, a lot of it's, some people charge per hour, some people don't. And so it's a situation of, oh, well, are you getting paid for your time, or are you getting paid per project? It really varies. And I had to drink my orange juice. But yeah, it's gonna be different for everyone. Everyone's gonna have a little bit different situation. And so it's really hard for me to say, oh, well, you should do this, you should do that, when you may not have the same situations as me or the same availabilities as me. I don't want to be, telling people to do this or do that when I don't know what their situation is. But in general, whatever you're doing or whatever your life is, you need to, from time to time, stop and say, okay, am I doing all that I can do? And if you're doing all you can do, that's enough. It really is that simple. Les Brown is someone that I really love to listen to in the mornings. He's really inspirational for me. Especially, for example, like in mornings like this where I'm really, really tired and I don't want to get up. I'm really sleepy and I just want to stay asleep and don't want to get up, do anything. People like him I can listen to, and it's motivational. And that's the other thing. Whatever motivates, that's why you need to find what motivates you. And if you can't find what motivates you, you need to go find it. For me, being able to make manga, tell stories, that sort of stuff really, really inspires me. And it makes me want to work harder. It's also proving people wrong. I hate putting this way, working out of spite. Working out of spite is insanely valuable to me personally. Just because, as someone who makes manga, I heard a lot, you can't make a living doing that. Or, ooh, you're such a weeb. Or, you can't make a living at manga because you're not Asian. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard that. And that's why, people say that, like racism isn't a thing, if you're a white person. And it most definitely is. For me, so I experienced that. That is people saying, like manga is specifically an Asian thing, so if you're not Asian, you can't do it. I hear that all the time. I can't tell you, like, and the thing is that's coming from people who don't know this. They don't know that it is possible to do it. You don't have to be Asian just to be a manga artist. That's that's like saying you have to be a white person to be an astronaut, or you have to be, like a white person to do this, or you have to be like, that's such a freaking ridiculous thing to say. So why do we allow it in that regard? Why do people feel it's okay to tell me that? And so my motivation is to prove, yeah, you can do it. So that's one thing that motivates me a lot. Not to like get into a sensitive topic, but that's a real thing that I experienced, and so that's why I want to share that experience. That's the whole point of this video today, is to share, how people can get motivated. Another thing that can be really motivating to people is what is your ideal life? What does your ideal life look like? If you were able to reach your goals, would you be able to, would you be able to, buy that house for your family that they've always wanted? Would you be able to, pay back that family member for everything that they've done for you? Would you be able to finally, have a sanctuary for dogs if you've always wanted one? Or, what is it that motivates you? Like, why do you want to succeed? What would you do if you did? You need to find out what that is. So that's always really helpful to me as well. Sorry if that was like a weird thing to get into. I know that, sometimes political topics can put off a lot of people, but like I said, I am not making this YouTube channel to make people happy. I'm making this YouTube channel to share things that I think are worth sharing. And if that makes people uncomfortable, then so be it. So please know that I'm not doing it to make anyone uncomfortable. I'm just sharing my personal experiences. It's my YouTube channel. I can do what I want. I can do what I want. Yeah. So, So if you're struggling, what can you do to help yourself as far as financially? Why is it doing that? The biggest thing that you can do is don't stop creating. And I know that's really, really difficult for a lot of people right now. We don't have the, emotional, I can't say we because I do, have the emotional capacity to say, well, you know what? I'm tired. That's okay. I'm going to keep working anyway. I'm going to, work despite, the things that I'm experiencing. Um, but that's not easy. That is most definitely not easy, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that that's easy. Like, just because I can do it, usually that doesn't mean that, you know, like everyone should be able to do it. Everyone has different, limits and capacities. And I don't want anyone to feel like I'm, like shaming them for not working or something, you know? Oops, hang on, guys. Something weird happened here. Something weird happened. 1 second. What's going on? Hmm. Yep. There it goes. Okay. Alright, cool. Just want to make sure it went through. Are you there? Still there, Tora? Did I lose you? I think I lost a lot of people. A lot of people jumped ship when I got political. That's fine. People got lives. People got stuff to do. But in general, you gotta figure out what that dream is that you have, and then just continue to pursue that. And if you don't know what that is, it's not something that you just find or that you just know. Well, it depends. I mean, I kind of had a general idea of what I wanted, but I didn't have any real specifics. And for me, when I got offered my internship with Tokyo Pop, I had an opportunity to kind of go and discover something about myself. Do I really want to get into manga? Do I really want to do this? How much work is it? What am I going to be like? What's going to be expected of me as an artist making manga? That's why I was so interested in this internship. Is it was an internship, more kind of on the non-artist side, which was actually kind of interesting. I mean, I didn't know a ton about what happened on the on the non-artist side. So like your PR and your licensing, your editing, your promotion, marketing, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really know a lot about what happened with all of that. So that's why this internship for me was incredibly valuable. Is now that I've done that, I feel like I have a lot more knowledge about what, once I can reach that level of, being published and all of that goodness, I'll be able to better cater to my editor and my team and my publisher and make sure that I'm giving them what they need. So, because it's not just as simple as saying, oh, well, I'm going to give you what I give you and your editor has to work around you. Yeah, no, guys, it works the opposite way. Your editor tells you what to do and you do it. I mean, like, you can talk with your editor and say, oh, what about this? What about that? Like, you can rebuff and, like, offer something else, but in the end, it's the editor that has the final say, I think. At least if you want to be published at all. So, but anyway, so whatever that goal is for you, if you want to be a painter, if you want to be a concept artist, you want to be, a character animator or work in feature films, whatever that is, you've got to figure out how to get there. And if you're like me and you live in a really like rural place, you will probably have to move. And that's not going to be easy. So you have to say, okay, well, I know that my goal is this. That's the easiest thing to do, is to say, well, what is my goal? If I had my ideal day in my life, what would it look like? This is an exercise that, because I took a business course for artists, and one of the exercises they had us do is they had us write down, what is your ideal day? From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, what is your ideal day? And that's what we did, is we wrote down what our ideal days were. Hi, Miso. Hey, baby. Miso has entered the chat. Hey, baby. She's like, why aren't we in bed? Because I have to draw. I have to draw, I must. Miso. I tried to give you my lap earlier and you didn't want it. So am I going to have to move now in my chair so that you can sit in my lap? Oh, Miso, I'm not ready for you yet. Oh, goodness. Sorry, my chair is really squeaky. Miso, what baby? What, Miso? Squish, 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 squish. Sorry, I'm petting my cat. Miso. Wish you guys could see her. I should have my webcam on, but I didn't feel like turning it on. So I turned my webcam on. I have to have better lighting, and I didn't feel like turning on my light. Okay, now that I'm done petting my cat, let me adjust my tablet here. There, now I can keep working. Anyway, so as an artist, one thing that you can do is you can help yourself a lot by just figuring out like what your ultimate goal is and what you want to do with your life, which is difficult. It's definitely hard to do. And it doesn't have to be like, I know exactly what I want to do. Like, your goal can be vague. Your goal can be, I want to be like a concept artist. It can be that simple, and then all you have to do is start working towards that. Maybe take a course, or maybe get some books, or maybe start following other professional concept artists on social media and see what they do. Or message them. A lot of artists, surprisingly, are willing to talk to you if you message them. Case in point, I wanted to be an animator at one point, like a 2D animator, and one of our assignments in class was to interview an animator that we thought deserved more recognition and was not from the United States. And I chose an artist named Irie Yasuhiro. You guys probably know his work if you're anime fans. If you're an anime fan, you definitely know his work. He was the director for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, in Japan. That's Irie Hero. That's the guy that I interviewed. And you don't know how I got that interview? I just messaged him on Facebook. I'm not even kidding. That is literally all I did. Is I messaged him on Facebook, and he's like, I'm like, oh hey, I have to do this project for class. Of course, I'm trying to be as formal as I can and sound nice. That's literally all I did, guys. And he said, yeah, he said he'd be willing to let me talk to him and ask him questions. That's how I did it, guys. So I mean, I don't really know what else to say other than like just try, just message people and see how it goes. You might be pleasantly surprised. With my internship, the way they got my internship with Tokyo Pop is I was doing I was posting on their comic app, Pop Comics. And I guess they really liked my stuff. They're like, hey, we want to feature you in our blog. So they asked me a bunch of questions for the interview, blah blah blah. And one of the questions was, what are your goals? Where where do you want to take this? And I said, well, I'd really love to intern with the publisher. I'd love to go learn new things. That'd be really cool. And then later I got an email asking if I was serious about the wanting to do an internship, and I said, heck yeah, I am. And they offered me one. That's how I got the internship. That's literally, so like, but I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I hadn't of posted to their comic site, which I didn't know was going to happen. I didn't know I was going to get featured. I didn't know that I was going to get interviewed. I didn't know any of that stuff would happen. It did, and I'm really thankful that it did. Oh, this looks weird. Hmm. Let's think. Oh, hang on, guys. Brain power is limited right now. Fill that in, and then I'll put in some hatching on that ear. Make it look a little more normal. Lisa, are you okay? We'll feel a little warm. I'll keep an eye on you. We'll check you in the morning before I go to work. But yeah, so there's always, things you can do to help, and sometimes it's just you taking the initiative and, experimenting, trying new things, seeing what works well for you, what doesn't. Sometimes that's literally gonna, make the difference. Maybe I'll just leave the white out of it. I just feel like this looks kind of strange. It's a low flying airplane. I'd fill that in. That looks better. I feel like this is also a little more kind of uneven that a bit. But the biggest thing you can do is to just give yourself goals. Goals are really important, because if you don't know, like, for example, so the reason why goals are important, the reason why, like, why do you keep talking about that? Why do you keep talking about knowing what you want to do and knowing your goals? A ship cannot get anywhere if it's not given directions. Okay, you could, I'm not exactly sure, if there's like autopilots for ships and boats and stuff. But in general, a ship will not go anywhere unless it's told where to go. I mean, you could start it. You could, get a ship. You could, turn the engine on and you could take it out to sea, but it's not going to get anywhere in particular if you don't tell it where to go. So that's why you are the ship, and you are also the captain. Okay, you're the ship, and you're the one giving in directions. You got to do both, unfortunately. We all can't be boats and just be told what to do. In this instance, you have to be the boat and the captain. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I know that's sort of like metaphysical, like blah 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 blah, but it's important, I think, to understand those things. Alright, well, let's merge these layers. And then we want to have Oma behind this. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock. I think now I'm just gonna kind of chill, because not a lot of people are here today, and that's fine. Wasn't sure how an early morning stream would go. So I figured I would, try it and see how it does. Bing! Miso. She's loving the attention right now, aren't you, baby? Aren't you? Aren't you? Yeah. Okay. Let me think here. Yeah, Miso. Yes. Yes. She's so demanding. Yes, you are, Miso. Don't look at me like that. What layer is it? There it is. Okay, I just wanted basically like a giant eyeball, like behind him, basically. So I'm gonna make. So here's my sketch here. So I'm gonna make a new layer. We're gonna use our tools here because we're smart human beings. Miso, I need my hand over here for a minute. You can wait. She's like, how dare you stop petting me? How dare? So, what, baby? What? What? Yeah. Edit, outline. Let's try 50. Let's see how it looks. That'll work. And then we'll just duplicate this and shrink it down a bit. And then what we'll do is we'll use this as our basis, and then I'll draw over it to kind of make it look a little bit more natural. Let's see. Let me look up the eye for this particular type of fish I'm drawing, guys. So give me 1 sec. Those are really pretty eyeballs. Okay. Now that I can see what I'm supposed to be doing. These are usually much smaller. So let's do that. Let's do this again. Let's try this again. Whoops. Okay. Okay, let's select the area outside the space. Sorry, my chair squeaks. It's an old chair. I don't like that. Lisa, you're making it really hard to work. Thank you. So what I'm doing is I'm going to open a let's see here. Basically seeing how I did the eye on this one, so I can make sure I do it the same way. So it goes down and then up a bit. Okay. Up first. So if anyone's watching this afterwards, if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section below. I'm always willing to answer people's questions, or to, talk about, my own experiences, or, give you guys advice. If I feel, that I have a good answer for you, I'm always willing to try to do that. That's literally why I made the channel, is to try to help people. Okay, and then this kind of comes up there. That's about what I had it. It's right here. This big old eyeball behind him. And I'll be adding some lines on this and, make it look a little more natural. Fish eyes are strange because they don't necessarily have like a lid necessarily, so they just look really bizarre. They just look shiny all the time. Let's see. Alright, let's put in our... I'm not sure if I want... I'll probably just fill the space in behind him. So we'll just put in a tone over it. This will also help define his shape as well. So I may just try this first and see how that looks. I'm sure how I want to do this. I might do something like just going to fill that in. Let me erase this a tiny bit. Some of this lighter area. And then we'll create another one. Put this in here. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, so I hope that, that talk was kind of helpful to you guys. If you guys have more questions, or if like you came in late or anything else, just let me know and I'll be happy to answer anyone's questions. I'm awake now. It's like 5:30 in the morning now, so yeah, it's early. Welp. But we're here now, so never be afraid to ask me questions, and if anyone's watching. I like to think I'm a pretty chill person in general. Let's see, we want to fill that. Let's make it a tone, and then we'll... We want to still be behind him, but we want to be able to accentuate the shape here so that it's visible still. So that's what we'll do. We'll just kind of basically outline it a little bit, but it won't be like super obviously there. Basically is what we're doing. Go ahead and take all the tone there out. Alright, and then on top of this, we'll put on a white outline to help define his form. Whoops. If I have the right tool on, huh? Just helps a little bit. Hey, I am submitting to Shonen Jump. Are you submitting too? They have a contest right now, that you can submit to, no matter where you're from. As long as it's in like one of those, a certain language, either like English, it's English, Chinese, traditional and simple, Korean, and Spanish. I think those are the languages that they're accepting. Are you gonna submit too? If you need a link to the contest, I can give you one. Can we get better? Oh, thanks. Yeah, I feel that. I've been spending a couple of years working on that part myself, and I just kind of like now feel, ready this time. So, what kind of work do you do? I mean, obviously you do manga, but like, do you have like a genre you like to work in? I really love doing like fantasy and supernatural things myself. So, especially with like, stuff like Kimetsu no Yaiba and like, Kaizen, stuff like that, like the supernatural stuff is starting to come back. It's not all about pirates and ninjas anymore. So I think now it would be a good time for me to submit. So I've noticed how stuff tends to come in waves. And like what's really interesting with the contest is a lot of people just can't follow directions. There's so many people that are probably gonna get disqualified for not like following directions and stuff. So I think the competition chances are pretty good. Just if you can just follow directions. But the rules state that they may not pick a winner. Like if they don't think any of the entries are good enough, they're not obligated to pick a winner from the people that you submit. So tough crowd out there, huh? No, the editors, I mean. Not you. The editors. A lot of things I do are fantasy. I have plans for science, fantasy, work a lot in action adventure. Okay. That makes me think of like isekai stuff. But that's not a bad thing. That's kind of what it makes me think of. Which, that's making a comeback, too. That's definitely making a comeback. This might be a good time for you to jump in, too. When you get the opportunity. I really struggle with comedy, to be honest. Comedy is something that I've always struggled to write. I think it's just because my personal sense of humor is just so dry. I'm unfortunately a very literal person. Unfortunately. So anyone that can write humor... No. I just mean, like, if you combine all of them, like, if you combine action, adventure, and comedy... Like, the majority of those in the anime world that I've noticed, especially lately, I just mean lately, are, like, isekai stuff. I'm just saying lately, that seems to be the trend. Whenever you have comedy, or it's one of those, like, episodic things, you know, like Lucky Star, or The Devil's a Part-Timer, where it's, like, well, technically Devil is a Part-Timer is kind of like isekai. Except it's, like, reversed. Instead of going into a fantasy world, he goes into the modern world. So, kinda, sort of. But that's what it made me think of. Do you not like that genre? I don't have any preference, typically. As long as it's not sci-fi. As long as it's not sci-fi, I'm usually down. Not a sci-fi person. See, isekai doesn't have to be shonen, though. There's a lot of really good comics, manga out there that are isekai that are not shonen. So... I mean, there are a few you could argue are shonen. I mean, the main one that comes to mind is Fushigi Yugi. You know, that's gonna always make me think of. That one's definitely more shoujo-esque, but it doesn't necessarily have to be shonen. I mean, action and adventure in general is considered shonen, usually. I mean, usually in shonen you have action and or adventure, like, minimum. Unless it's, like, sports, but then it would be considered action. Kind of. I don't know, I'm not into sports at all. Not even in real life. Well, okay, I lied. I like American football. Not lately, though. Jeez. Not lately. Whoops. Wrong color. Well, that's neat. I'm curious to see, you know, I'm always curious to see how other people develop, you know, as we go along, and, you know, how other people grow and that sort of stuff. I'm always excited to see that. But thanks for joining the stream. Welcome to the channel. Are you wanting to do, like, full-on, like, page manga, or are you more of, like, a webtoony, like, vertical, like, webcomic stuff? Like, what kind of, like, pages, like, what kind of, manga are you looking into? Because I'm always curious to see, like, this, like, especially over the last couple of years, before, like, webtoons and Tapastic were a thing, it was really interesting to see how many people were so focused on traditional, like, format, like, you know, like, page format. And now with stuff like webtoons and Tapastic becoming so crazy popular, it's amazing to see the shift into everyone doing more like webcomic format. Whoops. Baseball and boxing. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know a lot about boxing, but my brother played a lot of baseball, so I'm pretty familiar with baseball. He did baseball for, gosh, like... Well, yeah, I know you want to write manga, but you mean like traditional? Like traditional format? I don't like that black in there. I think it's because we can't see the edge here. So maybe what I might do is I might just... Yeah, traditional? Cool. Man, props to you. I'm learning that it's definitely way harder than it looks. I mean, I've known that for a while. I mean, I learned that during my internship, but... Okay, I think that's all of it. All of this goes below. Okay, so this all has to be transformed together. Alright, let's see if I can get this to work. I interned at a manga publisher. Specifically, I interned with Tokyo Pop. I was more on the editorial side, so I was doing more like helping review, helping proofread, helping set up artist schedules. I also did digital. Specifically, I was a digital media intern specifically. So I would help prep files for uploading. I would help fix damaged files. I would help proofread ones that we're currently going through. I got some experience helping the editor proofread things, looking for maybe something that didn't get translated right, or things just sounded weird. I would help set up artist schedules when we did conventions. I would help out at the booth. So all kinds of cool stuff. I'll make it an American comic. So you want to do a manga style, but submit it to a Western publisher? You mean like Viz Originals or something? Because if you were to submit something like that to Dark Horse or Image, I'm not sure if they would take it. I mean, people like that tend to be pretty specific, unless you mean like a Western manga publisher. I don't know very many of them. How many are there? I mean, I know there's Viz Originals. Yeah, interning with a publisher is really difficult because, in my experience, looking for internships, the majority of them want you to be able to get college credits. And I mean, I went to college, but my degree program didn't require an internship. And so because I couldn't get college credit, I got denied a lot of the internships that I tried to apply for. Because I couldn't get college credit. But I was really lucky that I found Tokyo Pop and that they were willing to give me an internship without having to get college credit. Well, I mean, hey, if there's a first for everything, if you can make that work, dude, that would be really freaking cool. Like, finally, because we need to get Western publishers to see that you can draw in other styles other than freaking Marvel or DC or Image. Like, publishers need to understand that you can do other things. A lot of publishers are so hesitant to accept anything that's not their typical brand. Understandably, it's a financial decision. So, dude, I hope like you can change that. That would be so nice to finally like see some change. You know, I'd be rooting for you. We need to see that change. You know, broaden their horizons a bit, and accept that that the market is changing. A lot of companies aren't willing to accept that, unfortunately. But I know some of them are more open. Like, I know Image is a little bit more open as far as style, which is good. So there's that, at least. So do you have like a story set up yet, or are you not that far yet? Or do you just know generally like what you want to do? But do you have like a story idea yet? Yeah, I feel like that's the insane amount of dialogue is definitely like a Western thing, which I don't frankly understand the need for such insane levels of dialogue. So like in our school, they tell you show don't tell, and then you get into comics and it's like here's a crap load of dialogue. You know what I mean? Really? See, I don't have a ton of stories. Oh, I do. I have a ton of stories, but they're all based in the same world. I don't really have a ton of stories in terms of like different worlds. So anyone that can have like a bunch of different worlds that they're managing all at once, I don't know how they do it. I do not know how they do it. It's amazing. Okay, yeah. So you're like me, most of the same world. Yeah, pretty much all my stories are same world. Well, it's nice to meet someone else who has similar similar process, a similar process to me. It's refreshing. Because most people that I know of, they just have like 50 million different worlds, and I'm like, how do you manage all that? I'm just standing here like surprised Pikachu face. How do you do it? It's crazy. Like it's inspiring, but it's like, wow, how do you do that? Yeah, yep. I love anthologies. That's like one of my favorite types of stories is when people have these crazy like Junji Ito. It's like there's a bunch of smaller stories. That's the sort of stuff that I love is the anthologies because you can really get lost in that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what this story is here. Um, that's what this is. Like these 55 pages are one of a whole bunch of different. It's one story of like a whole world of mythology that I have going. So I can totally respect that. There's nothing on here. I think this would be better up here. I would be better up there. I used to have a million different worlds, but I thought it'd be cool if they all took place in the same. Oh, okay. So they all started out different. Yeah, mine all started out the same. They're all from the same world. Whoa. And then, like, it started out as, like, one really huge story. It was going to be, like, this big magnus opus that was going to be, like, 40-something volumes. It was going to be massive. And then I learned that for new authors, there's usually, like, a limit to how many books they'll accept from new authors as far as, like, in a single series. And then I was like, oh, so I had to go back and rewrite this big story that I had. And so what I've done is I've turned it into a bunch of small stories, a bunch of short stories instead. But what's nice is that they can work on their own or they can work together either way. So that if I want to, I can just do, like the smaller stories. And then, when they have more confidence in me, I can say, hey, guess what? I've got all these other stories, so if you like this one, you'll like all these other ones. And that's the idea behind my contest entry is this is sort of like the introduction to the larger world that I have. This story can stand alone, but if they like it, there's more. Basically what I'm doing. I don't remember what text went there. I'll look later. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now we're in a whole separate folder. So other than texts, and I'm gonna do this. Oh shoot, I gotta finish this one. How did I? My brain just derped. Currently that I'm reading, definitely Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. So I actually started Demon Slayer before it became like a big thing. I know people always say that, but in 2018, I was at San Diego Comic-Con, in Anime Expo, and I believe it was Anime Expo. I think. I remember. I'm pretty sure it was Anime Expo. They were handing out samplers. So what they'll do is they'll say, hey, here's a sample of some of the new series we have. And so it looks like a standard manga volume size-wise, but it has like one chapter maybe of all these different new series that are coming out. Radiant was in there, Demon Slayer was in there, Ruby was in there. There's a whole bunch of stuff that was in there, and I read Demon Slayer in there, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. And now look at what it's become. So man, that was so definitely Demon Slayer. I loved it from the first time I read it in the sampler back in 2018. It was exciting. I'm excited for the series. Excited to see where it goes. So that's a big one. What's another series I'm really enjoying right now? I'm actually rereading an older series that used to be in Shonen Jump, which is Yu Yu Hakusho. A friend of mine was very generous, and it's actually my favorite manga, and they bought me the entire series in ebook format. And so I'm currently rereading Yu Yu Hakusho, which is my favorite. But not to sound like, every other person, oh, Kimetsu no Yaiba, but that's definitely my big series right now. What's your favorite right now? Something weird happened here. Hmm. Yeah, I've heard of that Ghost Rider one. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm not a fan of One Piece. The story is great, but the visual, it makes it really hard for me to read. I definitely have to have the visual. Or I really struggle to read a series. That said, I love the story itself of One Piece. I love the story. I've been keeping up with it, kind of in like summary format because I just love the story. It's just visually, it's just really hard for me to look at. But it's definitely a great series. I like One Piece, like everyone else does. But I'll check out the Time Paradox one. I haven't checked that one out yet. I always love getting suggestions. See, I don't like the cartoony style. I'm not a fan of anything that's really rubbery, loose looking. Like I don't like Adventure Time. I don't like Regular Show. That style I don't like. I don't know what it is about that style. I just don't like it. And for me, it like One Piece reminds me of that, and it's so exaggerated, which is I think what makes it cool to a lot of people. It's so obviously exaggerated, and I can't look at it. That's why I still keep up with the story. I keep up with the story, I look at the updates, because someone posts summaries, so that people who don't have time to read can keep up. Yeah, I didn't like Regular Show. I liked the humor, and that's the thing, is I like the humor. I like the show. I can't stand the visuals. And I feel so bad saying that because that doesn't mean the show is bad. It just means like the show is great. The writing is good. The characters are funny. It's just I can't stand to look at it. So that's why I feel so bad saying it. Is I don't hate it. It's just it's not my thing visually. Kaiji. Hmm. Oh, that one. Okay. Hmm. Not really a fan, to be honest. I've not really read much of that one. I could probably get used to it, but it's not my kind of story either. No, I've heard of it. It just I wasn't quite sure what you meant by style. I've heard of the story. I've never actually read it though. But I know what story you're talking about. Now that I'm seeing it. Eh. I could probably maybe tolerate it. I could learn to like it. It reminds me a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. Except like way more basic and cartoony. The anime reminds me a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. I've never really like bothered to look at the style for that one. It just I knew story wise it didn't seem like something I'd be interested in, so I never really looked at it. But I knew of the story. I think I could definitely watch the anime. I'm not sure if I could read it. It's the same thing for me with Attack on Titan. I don't like the manga. I don't like the manga at all. But I probably could watch it. I don't know what it is about the manga. It just looks really strange to me. I'm really picky about my visuals. I feel bad saying that, but I'm really picky about my visuals. And I say that, as a complete amateur who doesn't even know what the frick she's doing. So, my style probably sucks too. But I'm a visual person. Like, for me, I can't just have, like, cool looking characters or, like, a good story. Like, I have to have all of it for me. Like, I have to have a style that, that I like looking at. I can't just watch something just because I like the story. Now, if I like the story, I will go out of my way to keep up with the story of that series. Like, for example, Adventure Time. I love the story of Adventure Time. I love the plot. I love how it goes. I just can't stand looking at it. So I still read up on it. I read the summaries every single week when the episodes came out. You know, like, I kept up with it. But if I don't like the visuals, I'm not going to watch it. You know? Does that make me a bad person? It's okay to say yes. Like I said, I'm saying that as an amateur who doesn't have a lot of fans yet myself. So, what sort of style are you going for in your own work anyway? I'm always curious. Because a lot of people right now are going for like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style, and I'm like, oh my god, no. Because we can't have everyone doing the exact same style. Like, everyone I know these days wants to copy JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it's like, that's fine, you know, like, if you like it, but, like, don't copy someone else's style just because, you know, you think it's cool or it'll get you noticed. Like, I can't, like, I'm not copying anyone's style, but I've been told that my work looks, you know, reminiscent of certain people. Or they've been able to guess who my influences are. No, but I'm not like going out of my way to copy anyone in particular. Yeah, Kyoani was hit or miss for me. Either I really, really liked it, or I didn't. Like, it just kind of, I think it depended on the story it was with. Kyoani was really hit or miss for me. Same thing with Viz Media or Funimation, Aniplex. Like, it, well, I guess anyone in general, it's hit or miss. Like, typically Funimation, typically I'm down for their stuff. Typically I'm down. Toei is it's usually more miss than hit for Toei, but there's a few stuff that I really like. But I'm more of a manga person. I really prefer manga over anime in general. There's a few exceptions where I would prefer the anime over the manga, but not very many. It's nice to talk with someone who seems somewhat more cultured than me. I'll admit I'm pretty bad at, you know, keeping up to date with certain things. You know, because, you know, I work so much. You know, I've got this. You know, I have my day job, and then, you know, managing Twitch and YouTube. You know, trying to make sure I get my student loans paid every month. So sometimes I take on extra work, and I'm one of those people, like, I can't like watch TV and draw at the same time. And so I usually just end up like not reading, not watching anything, and then I end up falling behind, and then like it's such a bear to catch up with everything. And I actually have to look that up. I don't know who that is. Let me look that up. Yeah, dude, Demon Slayer's anime is amazing. I adore it. I love how it looks. It has like that traditional look too. Oh my god, it's amazing. Interesting. Huh. Yes, good. I don't know that at all. I've never heard of that. Oh, that's really different. I like that. Hmm. I like it. Looks very organic. I really, despite the fact that it looks very like the character looks very mechanical, it still looks very organic. I like that. Oh yeah, I like the manga and the anime. They're both good. The manga is different in that it's very like the this isn't an insult, but the lines are very flat looking in the sense that they're not like these beautiful, super crazy like brush strokes. It's a very simple sort of line style. Not a ton of screen tone, but it's a very simple line style and something I think we could all sorry we could all appreciate a lot more. Sorry, I'm very sleepy. I think it's something that, hopefully people could look up to and know that you don't have to have these super crazy, like, One Punch Man, Berserk style manga to succeed. You know? You don't have to look like Naruto, you don't have to look like Dragon Ball, you don't have to look like One Piece to succeed. You can do something crazy unique that's your own, and it can still succeed. Oops. Because, most of the people that I know of, they just want to be the next Dragon Ball, they want to be the next Naruto, and so they try to replicate all those styles, and, then they just don't look unique anymore. Close enough. Yeah, I like the style. I don't think that I would ever want to do that, though. I definitely, yeah, I can agree with that. I can feel that. Hi, Miso. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Miso. Hi, Miso. Miso's my cat, in case you're wondering. She's wanting to sit in my lap right now, but mommy is drawing, so mommy can't do that. Whoop. There we go. I was like, what did I do? Oh man, I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed, but if I go to bed, I'd only get an hour's worth of sleep. I'm so sleepy. Well, I already slept. I went to bed at 9 o'clock in the evening. And then I woke up at 3 so that I could get ready to stream. And then I went live about 4:30ish. I had to have my breakfast and all that stuff. So I technically slept 6 hours already. But yeah, a nap sounds really good right now. But I have a deadline and I have 37 pages to do in like 25 days. I don't really have time for sleep. But yeah, you do make a really good point. Even just a nap might be a good idea. to kind of help get me through the day because I still have to go to work and do my day job stuff. So I take a nap now. I could stream when I get home. Weird. So the premise of the story, it's mythological hero's journey sort of story basically. This guy here, Pon, his name is Pon. He is cast to the bottom of the ocean and has to fight his way back to the top. And he fights the guy that, sent down the bottom of the ocean, and he loses the first time. And so, he kind of goes through this, I failed, blah, 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 blah. And he has to, kind of, bring himself back to, go fight for himself. He's, I don't want to give away too much if you're not a spoiler person. Why? Is that on this layer? Did I just draw on the wrong layer? Trying to figure out why my line art is vanishing. So that's really weird. I don't know why it would be vanishing, because there should be... That's why. That's why. I was wondering about that. If you're okay with, spoilers, let me know and I'll give you more information. And just some people are, they don't want spoilers. Alright, what do I do? Here we go. I always try to, respect, people who may not want spoilers, so. Okay, cool. Yep, I try to be respectful of people who don't want spoilers, so. But yeah, that's the premise, is that he has to fight his way back, and defeat the guy, basically. So it's like it's 53 pages long. So the idea is, in the beginning, he's cast at the bottom of the ocean, this fish called Oma. Here, you can see it here. This fish here, Oma, is kind of like, his guide, his teacher, sort of like, the myth of the hero story. Helps guide him back to the surface. Kind of learning along the way, fighting along the way, that sort of stuff. So, and then the villain that he's against, his name is Amat. I'll at least show you the characters. And give it a second, it's a big page. Is this guy right here, Amat. Whoops. Wrong button. Hope I hit the right button, doesn't it? Why do you do that, Clip Studio? This guy right here. This guy. With the Guandao. Thank you. I really love doing yeah, I know, it's hard to know that I can do this nice pretty artwork when you see me working on just these little panels. So I'm not used to being up so early in the morning, and so I'm kind of just doing whatever I can do. And then today when I get home I'll probably be able to do a lot more work. My brain is just kinda That's why I'm debating on just going and getting a nap. I had my first day of Japanese class yesterday, so I had my day job. I think I had 3 hours of sleep I had 3 hours of sleep Sunday night, and then I had to get up, go to work, And then after work, I had to run to the mechanic because I had to get some work done on my Jeep. And then I had to run home as fast as I could because I had my Japanese course started, I think, like 10 minutes after I got home. And then, so then I did my Japanese class, and then like I had like a little bit of homework I had to do, a little bit of review I had to do. And then I was supposed to stream starting at 9 o'clock, but I was just so tired. I went to bed, got up at 4. No, so I got up at 3 to start streaming at 4-ish. So I got 6 hours, but I'm still like really sleepy. So I work better when I've, had, obviously, like most human beings, I work best when I've, had some sleep. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Make sure all these lines line up. That spread is probably one of my favorite pages. The one with Oma and Pone together is one of my favorite spreads. Actually, I think it's the only spread in here, now that I think about it. Because that's right, yeah, because I had another spread, but I took that spread out. It's taken me a long time to get comfortable enough with my art that I feel like ready to submit to companies. To me, it's just such a scary thing submitting to companies. I don't know why, it's just really scary. Why did these not move with it? Oh, that's why. Because I only have the horizontal setting on. Oh, I'll fix that. Okay, we want all. There we go. Move this down. Okay. Why is it not moving together? I don't understand. I mean, I can manually line it up. It's no big deal. It's just annoying. So I'll just have to manually do it. That's frustrating. At least these two are moving together. Bruh, what you doing, bro? Weird. Ugh. I have to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. I'm like so nervous about this, though. I've never actually submitted to a manga contest before. This will be the first time I've ever submitted something to a contest. So we'll see how it goes, I guess. I don't think I've really ever entered like a contest before in general. So it's not lining up. That's weird. Okay, there we go. In your original idea where you wanted to make everything is no, he's not the main story. The villain is the same though. The villain is the same, but the main character is different. So, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to use. Ooh, that lines up really badly. Oh, that's right. That doesn't go there. That's why. The main characters are different, but I wanted to use this as an opportunity to introduce the world in general. Why does this keep going back up? Something is weird with my pages. I mean my panels. What is going on? Okay, I think that's better. I'll have to split the frame there. Let's split our frame here. What's interesting though is the poem didn't actually exist until 2016, and then I started the whole story overall back in 2010, 2011 was when I started it. So Pwn actually existed quite a few years afterwards, and when I was in art school, I actually started creating the story while I was in art school, while I was still a student. There we go. You're gonna let me put in a gutter, bro? Oh, I see. Okay, I have to put in both lines. Is that what? I'm still learning how this particular tool works. And what does that all say? Oh, okay. I didn't select that. That's why. Try this, see if that's why. Okay, okay, maybe this worked. I'm still learning how to use this tool. This is a new tool for me. Why is it not giving me that space? I don't understand. If I have to make a new, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. I'm not gonna fight this. I'm just gonna make another panel. It's not that hard to make a new panel. Oh my gosh, cat. I'll have to look this up and figure out how to do this properly. For whatever reason, it's not splitting it. Yeah, that's music. Sorry. I need to have music when I'm creating, so I've got some music on in the background. My apologies if that bothers you. Put it in the wrong folder. No. I swear. Here. Yeah, for sure. I'll be live sometime later. Hopefully tonight, or maybe again same time tomorrow, 4:30. I don't know. I'm kind of just taking it day by day. I don't have like a super set schedule or anything. But thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Have a good day or evening, wherever you are. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you. Take it easy. I'll take a nap. With that said, I'm going to go take a nap before I go to work. So if I can, just get like an extra 30 minutes or, power naps. Power naps are good. So I didn't get a lot done today. I did not get a lot done today, but that's okay. It's kind of hard to get stuff done when you're not in your peak state of mind. So let's see. I got one panel done. 2 hours and that's all I got done. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm currently going to save everything. And then I'm going to go take a quick nap before I go to work. So I'll be working on the same page next time when I start streaming. Hopefully, I'll be, in a better mindset and I won't be as tired. I just had a really long day on Monday. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, questions, comments, concerns, hockey scores, leave them in the comment section. I hope you guys will, like and subscribe if you guys are watching this after the fact. And I'll see you guys next time. With that, have a good day or have